Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to the second episode of rating your teams, and I did really enjoy doing the first one. You guys seem to like it as well, so I think we're going to make it a series as long as people want to see it. And of course, with more headliners coming out, some cards being a bit cheaper, some of you have managed to get some better teams, some upgrades in there, and there's more players I can give to you this week to upgrade into your team as well. And I've had some really good ones this week, so thank you to everyone that sent them in. We have our most expensive squad we've ever seen as part of this video, and I'm really looking forward to it, so I'm not going to waste any of your time. I think we can get straight into it and review some teams. Right, so starting off with our first team here, we have got Declan, so of course, as with everyone, thank you Declan for sending this in to me, and we have got a pretty nice team we're starting off here. I like the creativity. It's not all players you'd normally see. Sancho especially and Verratti, I think are two ones that are they're fun to use, but you don't really see them mainly because Sancho, obviously he's quick, but he's not as quick as he was last week, and Verratti is just known for maybe not being so strong or whatever, but that Verratti card especially is seriously underrated, and I like that. He has about 130k, and yeah, I think if he put Walker in maybe for Bellerin, then he could get Rashford on full chem, which is a pretty good idea. Volland at centre-back, again, that's kind of up to him if he likes it or not. So Declan, if you like that, then just stick with it. I don't know how good he is. I've never used him, but yeah, he's not a player I would pick, basically. But also, I think you could do with a better goalkeeper. Maybe a
cheeky little Killua Navas
would go down quite well in goal. So they're the main things I think for like getting players or whatever. There's not too much I'd change really. I think it's a nice team. I'd either play 4-4-2 in game. Of course, those midfielders are going to be Goretzka and Marquinhos, or 4-2-2 with Verratti and Sancho as cams, with Rashford and Gnabry up front would work really well. So it's a nice team. It's one that I would definitely have fun with playing in game. But yeah, thank you Declan, that's a really nice team. We are going to move on now to I'll start moving to him. So next up we're going to have Abderrahmane's team. I think I've said that. You can correct me in the comments if you do watch this. He's got a pretty normal PL team. He has got Tavernier, which is slightly out there, but of course he's a very nice card. But yeah, it's OP players basically you would see a lot in lower divisions and of course earlier in the year. Pogba, Wijnaldum, very good partnership there. Lucas is really good. It's a shame that you can't get him on full chem because he's a really good player. In terms of upgrades, there's not really an obvious weakness here. Maybe De Gea, depends if you like De Gea. If you think De Gea is good, then definitely keep him. But yeah, you could upgrade him to either Alisson or Edison or maybe even Lloris. It just depends if you like him or not. And yeah, the other upgrade I have is again quite preference based. You could get Tierney instead of Alex Telles, but that is up to you whether you prefer them, because I know a lot of people like Telles. I personally don't think he's that good in game, but some people do like him. So again, that's up to you. Those are the upgrades for that team. Next up, we've got Anonymous. That's what their name was on Instagram. I didn't get the actual name, so I'm going to run with that. You'll know who you are. He plays 4-4-2 in-game, he says, and has around 100k. It's quite an interesting team. Again, Owen isn't a card you don't see too much. Dos Santos, I've seen in a few teams actually this week. I don't think he's that good, especially because people are playing him mainly in attacking positions, and he's just not... defensive positions, he's not too good there. If you play him in attacking positions, he's okay. If you play him in defensive, like a lot of people have been, he's not too good. Yeah, the rest of the team, I do like Kimmich. I think Stoichkov is a great icon, and of course, you end up seeing it a lot again. You do every time I do this. Varane and Mendy and Robben and Kleiber as two pairings. That obviously doesn't need changing. Upamecano and Galaxy. Maybe Galaxy isn't the best keeper, but Upamecano, great defender. And of course, he does need that strong link, so you do need to keep him there. That is all good. With around 100k that he has for upgrades, I say maybe get Sane in for Costa. I think he's just a bit better. And then you have potential for upgrades there. Basically, with a lot of this team, you could get maybe, when you have more coins, a better Kimmich, a better Goretzka. You could eventually get rule breakers. Douglas Costa. I don't really like Owen that much in game, but you might, and I don't think he's really worth changing when you have 100k. I think just hold on to him for now. I play 4-4-2 in game like you do. I think that is the best formation, and yeah, it's a pretty nice team. Again, it's one that I think I'd actually like using quite a bit. So next up, we've got Oofmys Sponge. Yeah, interesting name, don't know his actual name. He just has 60k. He has a really pretty well-rounded team, actually. There's not really an obvious weakness there. When you look at it, I mean, it's a really strong defence. Of course, Van Dijk, Gomez, Kleiber, Telles, it's hard to get past. Maybe Telles is a bit weak, but there's not really a upgrade for him at the moment. Allen, Pogba and Wijnaldum in the middle, just Again, it's really solid. Maybe upgrade Allen to a attacking midfielder when you have more coins, or maybe a striker if you want to play 4-4-2. Because at the moment, I say 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-2-1 are your best formations, with Sucre up front and Robin and Mane either side, or with Sucre up front and then maybe Pogba as a cam with the other two either side. I think those are the best things you can really do. But with 60k, there is not too much you can do with this squad. It is pretty well rounded, and yeah, it's again a squad that I'd be happy to use myself. So next up we've got Liam, and I commend him here. He said he doesn't want to use meta players in this side. It's another side that I think is pretty creative. It's got some cards you don't see as much. It's really strong as well. It's a really good team. Yeah, he's going to get Vidic from swaps. Vidic isn't the best, but I know a lot of people are getting him from swaps. He's still a good option. I wouldn't say he's the best option, but he's still a good option, which is important. Maybe if there's a better centre-back in Icon Swaps too, that could be an upgrade for Liam and potentially a lot of other people as well. The goalkeeper, that's up to choice completely. You don't have to use Galaxy, but any goalkeeper in the game will work here. So maybe if you don't like Galaxy, just try some other goalkeepers out, like Stegen or Edison, Alisson. Any of those, you try them out and they could work for you. But I do like the midfield, especially Goretzka and Renato Sanchez, both in form. That is really solid. And then Stoichkov and Gnabry up front with Bamber and Van Bergen either side in a 4-2-2, 4-2-2 or a 4-4-2 would be really, really solid. So I really like this team, Liam. So thank you for sending it in. It's been a really good one. Next up, we have a regular of the channel. You see him a lot. It's Bruno, and he has actually two squads. We're only going to use one here because there was quite a lot of people. So maybe Bruno, if you want to send in your other squad for the next episode, I'll be happy to review that. But I'm going to go with the squad he uses for FUT Champions. It's all untradeable apart from Wijnaldum, which I like. He's got quite a lot of first owner players. He has a lot of coins, 615k, so we can do a lot of upgrades. I'd say Van Bergen up front. He's not great on 6 chem, especially like his finishing isn't good on 10 chem, so on 6 chem his finishing is not going to be great, so maybe get yourself a different striker there. We'll talk about that more in a bit. Robertson is a bit of a weak link in your defence. Robertson is not too good in game, but the other three, Gomez, Stones, Kleiber, really, really solid. So maybe you could get someone like Telles there, or again Tierney, one of those Premier League left backs. Not many of them are that good, but you could try one of those, and then take out Van Bergen, change formation like I've done here to the 4-3-2-1, but play 4-2-2 in game is what I think. And yeah, one of those, you get like a PL striker or cam, so someone like Headliner Zaha is who I've put in, but maybe you could get like an Impulm Vardy if you like him, something like that. You have a lot of options here basically. Any Premier League cam or striker you like would really upgrade this, and you can upgrade Joe Gomez to Virgil van Dijk as well, which I think is obviously a worthwhile upgrade. Everyone likes a bit of Van Dijk in their side. But yeah, I'd play maybe... You've got a lot of options for you want to play up front as well, because all of them would work well at cam or up front. You could play Mane as a striker or a cam, same with Robben, same with Promes. I'll say Promes definitely play as one of your cams, and then it's up to you basically who you want as your more attacking players. But yeah, I like that team, Bruno. Thank you for sending it in. Next up, we've got a man who was in last episode, Emil. He made some changes to his squad and he wanted me to review it again, which of course I'm happy to do. He only has around 50k because he did do some upgrades before, and I like his attack. It's very, very strong. Looks quite scary to come up against, actually, especially that headliner's Lozano. But the defence, I think, could use some work. They're not bad players, but the chemistry isn't there. And I think you could probably just increase that by playing Nick Pope. And I think the players sitting in front of them aren't good enough defensively. Henderson's alright, but he's quite slow. He's not actually the strongest either. Lampard, I don't personally like as a card, but I get why people will. And Zielinski is a good attacking player, but he's not very helpful defensively. So I'd say it's hard at the moment, apart from maybe putting in Nick Pope for better chemistry. Getting Party when you have a few more coins is what I'd go for, and switching some players around does get everyone apart from De Ligt on 10 chems, so I do that as well. You can see here I have got that strong link between Party and Aubameyang, and then we've moved Lampard up front. But yeah, Party, I think when you've got a few more coins, he may go below 50k when Team of the Year comes out, would be a really good shout. So yeah, thank you for sending it in again, Emil. It was really good to hear from you. Next up, we've got Killua. I think I've said that okay, but he has around 185k, and it's another one where it's really well rounded. It's not like got the best players in the game, but it hasn't got an obvious weakness. And yeah, I like it. I like when people manage to make really strong teams without the most coins in the game. So I'd say maybe the best thing would be to get Valverde on full chem by getting Inform Ramos, who's absolutely a beast. He's one of the most underrated cards in the game, Inform Ramos. Even normal Ramos is pretty good. But yeah, I'd say that would be an upgrade on Longley. Apart from that, there's not too much you can do, apart from maybe getting yourself a better goalkeeper. So you don't have to use Courtois, because you don't actually need that strong link, but maybe Oblak or Stegen. And then maybe stave up, try and get yourself a better version of Bamba, or Inform Depay actually would be quite a good shout. So I'd say really just try and upgrade your existing cards rather than getting new cards, apart from that Ramos and maybe a better goalkeeper. So Bamba, Depay are the ones to focus on there. Yeah, I'd say, again, this formation is coming up a lot, but I know it's popular. Either 4-4-2 or 4-2-2 in game would work really well with this team, with Samson and Valverde as those two more defensive players. Then Bamba and Robin, and you could go with Depay and Aouar up front. Definitely play Aouar as a striker. I said this last episode, but some people do play him in a more defensive role, and it doesn't really work. He's not as good there. So next up, we've actually got a new record for these kind of videos. It's the most expensive team we've had at just under 8 million coins, and also the biggest upgrade budget at 2.5 million coins. And this has been sent in by Colin, and it's been a pretty fun one to do when you get to use this many coins. So you can see he has a lot of good players. Prime Thierry Henry, Prime Beckham, Prime Oofmys. He's got Ian Wright as well. Aubameyang, Inform Kante is solid. Of course, he has a really solid side all around. But I think there is some upgrades. I do think it's a little attacking. As you see, he's got 3 out-and-out strikers and 2 attacking wingers as well. So yeah, I think Kante's kind of on his own in the midfield, and that could maybe cause you a few problems. So I'd say, well, you can see my upgrades coming into the screen now, but I think having someone like Goretzka in there would really, really help. It would make it a lot more solid, and then you've got a lot of formations you can play when you've got 2 really, really strong anchors like those two. Definitely keep Thierry Henry. I'd say Overmars is not great. Overmars you can keep. If you like him, keep him, but you could upgrade him. I've used Rule Breakers Costa. I think he'd be a really good upgrade there. And then on the other side, Beckham is not quick at all. If you play Beckham as maybe a cam, then that's great. Obviously, you can keep him, but I'd say for a quick winger, maybe go with someone like Mo Salah. Any Premier League card is going to work here. So I'd say you could get Inform Salah. He'd be really good. You could, of course, like I've put in here, put him road to the final, but if you're not confident Liverpool are going to win enough games for him to get enough upgrades, then you don't have to. And then I've changed the goalie as well. If you like Leno, this happens mostly with keepers more than any other position. It's about preference. If you like Leno, then definitely keep him. I can't get my head to stay straight, by the way. Definitely keep him. But if you don't like him, maybe get Inform Edison or Alisson or someone like that. But there's a lot of coins here. There's a lot of stuff you could do with this team, and this is just what personally I'd do within your budget. Next up, we've got Thomas. He's got a full untradeable team, apart from Konate and Galaxy, and he has around 150k to spend, which is quite a bit. And I do like some of the links he's made here. That perfect link between Neymar and Marquinhos, of course, Kluivert and Robin in there as well, and Guedes and Felix, all pretty creative, and I do like that. One player that I'm not much of a fan of is Roy Keane. I've got his prime myself at his SBC. He is a bit slow, but again, he's one where if you like him, then definitely keep him, but I wouldn't personally use Roy Keane. I don't think he's good enough, and he's playing alongside Marquinhos, who is really good, so you could get away with it. But I'd maybe change that if you had more coins. But with 150k, all you could really do maybe is improve your Konate and Galaxy link to something like, I've gone with Ramos and Courtois, but you could do something like Longley and Stegen maybe. I think that would be slightly better, but I'd go with Ramos with a shadow on him, because I think, I've said it already, he's a really underrated card and I do really like him. So I play 4-2-2 again with this squad. Neymar you can use as a cam alongside Robin, and you can chuck Guedes and Felix up front. But again, there's a lot of room where players can interchange, like Robin could go up front and Felix at cam or something like that, and that worked well. Next up, we've got Kai, one of my very long-term subscribers. Thank you to him for sending this in. He doesn't have that many coins at all, but he does want to get himself a Marcus Rashford. So I'm basically going to talk about the team that he's got and how he could change that. So we're going to presume that he's bought that Rashford, and I do think that is a very good investment. But this side is very, very attacking right now. You can see Yedder, Martial, Aouar, Rashford, Alessandrini all attacking. And then we've kind of got Kante on his own, and I'd say either get rid of Martial or get rid of Ben Yedder. You don't really need them both. They're very similar players. Aouar has to stay. He's amazing. Same with Alessandrini. The defence, just keep it the same. I realise I didn't mention the defence, but it's because I don't need to. The defence is really good. Yeah, get rid of one of those two and then maybe get a more defensive player. The easier one to get rid of would probably be like Yedder, and then get Sissoko, because that still get you full chem. So that's what I'd say do maybe, and then you can play. Again, it's the same formations popping up again. It's going to be the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-2 that would work well for you. Next up, we're going to be looking at Marco's team. He has quite a lot of coins. He's got 650k, but he does have quite a lack of chemistry here. You can see Sterling's on 1 chem, Fernandez is on 6, Dos Santos on 3, so basically we have quite a lot of upgrades we can do here. I think we can make this a really, really strong team. There's quite a few options here. You don't have to go with my predictions, called no one does, but I think this would work really well. Llorente needs to stay. He's a really good CDM, but you can partner him with Valverde, and that is really, really good. Jimenez, Torreira, I'd say keep. Jimenez is so annoying to play against, by the way. I don't know if you guys have realised, but I find him really annoying. I find him up there with Van Dijk and Varane for how difficult he is. Pacheco, he's off chem and he's not actually that great in goal. So, again, Alisson would be one that works well here. Keep Cancelo, he's amazing. Get rid of Dos Santos and also get rid of Sterling, because he's on literally no chem. Pogba, I think, could work there as another really good midfield option. Informed Pogba is who I've gone for. I think that's a really good card. Keep Fernandez, he's really good. Same with Hernandez. Again, he's a card that I really like. And then we have the other striker position. You can use any strike here you like from La Liga. It's really, really up to preference. I've put in Benzema. I think he's really good. I've started using Benzema this week. I really like him, and it adds a little bit of strength up front. There isn't really too much strength up front, and I think that could be helpful, especially if you want to play through long balls forward when you don't really have any other options. I think that is something that could work well. But in game, of course, while I'm still talking about Benzema, this has just come to me, but Real Madrid are going to get 4 wins quite easily, so that's a free upgrade there. Either 4-2-2 or I think 4-3-1-2, which is a formation I actually use, would work well with this team. You play like Valverde's your middle midfielder, and you play Pogba and Llorente either side, Fernandez at cam. I think that would work really well for you, to be honest. It's quite similar to how I structure my team. So that is your team, Marco, and I really enjoyed doing that one. I liked it. So next up we have got Caleb, and he only has around 5k, which does make it very, very hard to kind of improve his team, but it's another one, it's quite strong, and it doesn't have a player who I'd necessarily say is weak and is bringing the team down at all. So yeah, although it doesn't have many coins to spend whatsoever, it is still a strong team. So, of course, with teams like this, it's mainly talking about what kind of tactics you'd use and maybe some potential future upgrades. And Tellez is the only one where, if a good value Premier League left-back comes up, maybe something like an Inform Reguilon, or yeah, something like that, or another Inform Tierney, something like that could be worth the upgrade. But this is another one that would work well in the same formation I've had to keep suggesting. I'd say 4-4-2 probably best for this one. Kante and Gravenberch in the middle, really, really solid. Salah and Van Bergen on the wings. And then Aubameyang and Werner up front is pretty lethal. Especially Aubameyang, I hate playing against both of these two. They're really, really annoying because one through ball and you're completely dead. So Caleb, it is a really strong team, although you don't really have any coins to upgrade. I like it. So we're moving on to Krishev now, and he only has 25k, and he has a really, really strong back line. It's one you'll see quite often. Mendy, Varane, Gomez, Walker, of course, he has Lloris in goal, who's really solid as well. But in front of that, there is a lot of attacking players. Bamba and Salah definitely keep on the wings, but one of those middle ones, one of Werner, De Bruyne, Rashford, I'd say maybe change. Because Sissoko is good, but on his own, with no real obvious, even like box-to-box kind of play around him, he might struggle a little bit. So I'd say you'd have to pick between either Rashford or De Bruyne to keep. I'd probably lean towards Rashford. I do think that playing him up front in like a 4-3-2-1 or something like that, or maybe even Werner could be the man you get rid of. Werner would make a lot of sense. You can see that I've got rid of KDB in mind, but looking back at it now, I think Werner might be the best option as someone to get rid of, and replace him with a more defensive or box-to-box player, someone like Wijnaldum, and then you play Sissoko and Wijnaldum either side of KDB in either a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-2-1. I think that would work well. Or you could maybe get someone like Kante when you do get yourself some more coins. So I know you don't have too many at the moment, only 25k. So we are finishing off now with Rachil, and he has a few more coins than some of the recent ones. He has 120k, and I like the front three a lot. Baby Omri and Malin and Robben works really, really well, I think, and it's another one where we can end up using the 4-3-2-1 with it. In the midfield, I don't think you really need Martial. I think he's one that can definitely change. Partey as well, I think, is a good player, but I think you could sort out the chemistry, because of course Mendy doesn't have chemistry, by changing the players around a bit. So I've decided basically that Valverde, I think, would be a really good, really cheap option to play on the left side of the 3. He's really good, Valverde. He's really good value. Of course, you can upgrade his inform when you have more coins. And then bringing in Ramos for Tomori, moving Gomez to the other side, will get Mendy on full chemistry, and I do think he's a better defender as well. Tomori is a great starter player, but after that, he doesn't really cut it. I'd keep Wijnaldum, of course, I love Wijnaldum. And Partey, mainly for chemistry reasons, I would swap for Gravenberch. You can get in 1 or 2 games, and is a really solid card. So those are the upgrades I do for this team. I do think that it's already quite strong, it's already a good team, but I think this is just slightly better. Of course, the chemistry will mean that some players can perform better. So that is what I do for your team, Rachel. And we have reached, with that one, the end of another episode of this. This is the second one, and it's gone really well. I will make a series out of this as long as people want me to review their teams. I know there was a few that slightly missed the deadline. They just, they sent, like, there wasn't really obviously a deadline, but they sent it in slightly after I'd I had all my notes done and everything like that. I know there's a few people that did ask to be in the video, but they were a little late. You will be in the next one, and if you guys watching this want to be in the next one too, then all my contact details are going to be down below. You can go Instagram, you can go Twitter or PSN. They're the ones that I'd like to be contacted on the most. Of course, if you don't have to do that, just leave a comment down here, and I will try my best to help you out, because I do really love doing these videos and helping you guys out a bit. So thank you very, very much for watching yet again. I'll be back with SBCs very soon. Of course, we've got Team of the Year stream, stuff like that. So hopefully I'll see a lot of you over the next few weeks. May even have a new PC building video, perhaps. That could happen soon. I'm just hinting at something there. But I will see you soon, everyone. Thank you very, very much for watching again, and goodbye.